スタジオ3万
This is Coasting, the theme park podcast from Nerd OD. On today's show, we look at the new world record-breaking Wonder Woman coaster, Disney's new Genie Plus, Icon Park in Orlando show off their new attractions, and we have a special quiz to test your theme park knowledge.
Hello and welcome to Coasting, the podcast all about theme parks, rides and attractions around the world from Nerd OD. We are your roller hosts, Reg
and Dan. And as always, we kick off the show by getting on track with the latest news.
So first up, we have some wonderful news.
I
know, that was a shocking joke. But Six Flags have just announced the world's tallest and longest single-rail roller coaster to go inside one of their parks, which has the... I think Six Flags now have the most amount of world records for theme park attractions.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, there's lots of Six Flags parks worldwide, and every single one I hear about, it's either... In terms of singular parks, it's either Cedar Point that has the world record-breaking ones, or it's Six Flags. So this is Six Flags Magic Mountain, right? Which is in California.
It is indeed.
And yeah, obviously they've got the DC license, so there are lots of DC superhero coasters like the Superman Man of Steel ride and things like that, the Green Lantern ride. But this looks amazing, and when I first read the header, so it's an RMC Raptor coaster, which is the big thing about it is it's a single rail coaster. And I just read the headline saying, it's world record breaking, tallest and fastest. And then I watched the video and it's like, wow, yeah, this does look pretty tall and looks pretty fast. So even without considering the single rail, it looks pretty huge and pretty awesome. But then when you bring the single rail thing into the equation, I went through sort of two thoughts. And at first I was like, what difference does that single rail make to the experience? Does it really sort of, does it make it better? What's the point? And then the more I watched the video and the more I sort of saw the maneuvers that they can make the car do, purely because it's on this single rail that can twist and turn and whatnot. Actually, I'm surprised this isn't more common. Because, essentially, they've just taken the track and turned it vertically, right? So the car still has its four wheels, on either side, holding onto the track. Mm-hmm. So it's proper got a clasp on the track. So, yeah, it's just another way of doing things. And I wouldn't be surprised if this sort of became a lot more common. Because it looks amazing. I don't know I'm sure there are lots of them, but I don't know another one like this. I've been on things like, I don't know, the stupid little kids roller coasters that just run on a single rail. And it's like, yeah, great. But this is a proper, 58 mile an hour, 131 foot, 87 degree first drop, and it's 3.5 kilometers long.
Yeah, it's insane. So, the only one that you can reference it to is the one that they've got in their Great Adventure.
Oh, yeah.
Park, the Jersey Devil. So it's going to be, if you've been on that, it's going to be very similar to that, but just a bit bigger, basically. But it looks incredible. And obviously having the Wonder Woman theme and us being sort of comic book nerds and whatnot always adds in that little bit more to it.
Yeah.
But the whole idea of the ride is amazing. The only thing that I can reference it to myself, probably remember Velocity at Flamingo Land where you go on the motorbike. It's probably that, because that was only single file for us, wasn't it? So
yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
So I imagine it's going to be an extremely better version of that.
yeah. Flamingo Land in the UK, it's a nice little park, and it does its unique coasters well, but not groundbreaking. But no. Things that some of the other UK parks haven't got, let's say. But it's Magic Mountain. It's one of those bucket list parks. It's got, up until the opening of this, there are 19 roller coasters, so this is going to be its 20th coaster. And
that's just insane, isn't it?
Absolutely. Granted, there are a few of those, coasters that are smaller ones. They are sort of junior, maybe family coasters, but the vast majority of them are huge, massive, hulking, just amazing coasters that just. I went to Thorpe Park recently. And there's a video coming out soon. I'm just finishing editing, but we thought, let's challenge ourselves to go on every single ride in the park in alphabetical order. And we looked at it, and there are 26 rides total. 4 or 5 of those are roller coasters. This is 20 rides, even without without even going into the list of all the the little flat rides. And I mean, there's plenty of other non-roller coaster attractions that are well worth going to at that park. I don't know how you would do it in a day though. Like, how could you choose?
No chance.
It's insane. Like, you go in the summer, you're getting on 4 or 5 rides. You're gonna really have to pick and choose which rides you're going on when you go there.
Yeah, like you said, it's 100% one of those that I genuinely want. I need to go to, not want. Need to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just seems like it's the ideal dream, like, vacation. That's easily a 2 to 3, probably a 3-day trip to squeeze in everything you want to do.
I think you'd have to. Yeah.
Which
it'd be very tricky to do otherwise.
At all.
No, fair enough. All right, well, maybe 2023, 2022 seems optimistic at this point, but coasting trip 2023.
Woohoo! So just to formalise that, summer 2022 is when the Wonder Woman coaster comes out. The Flight of Courage.
Of course. I like when they just dump an IP onto a ride and it's barely got anything to do with the actual characters. Some of the world's best rides are IP. Right? Oh, yeah, we talked a lot about IP stuff last week, but like the Spider-Man ride, constantly that comes out in the top 3, if maybe 5 of rides worldwide. But that could not be anything but a Spider-Man ride. But then you've got stuff like this, which is just like, it's Wonder Woman because they've painted it red and yellow, and they've put a big Wonder Woman logo on it. But I don't care. I just want to go on a amazing looking roller coaster.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you might not be able to see it from the next attraction I want to talk about.
Okay.
But while we're talking about world records that are coming through, Icon Park in Orlando.
This is the Two Swords area, right? So this is where you've got Madame Two Swords and Sea Life and the Orlando Eye, or whatever they're calling it now.
It is indeed.
Okay.
Yes.
So it used to be, for people who've been to Florida many years, used to be the Mercado, which was like this weird little Mexican themed shopping village. It had a supermarket and then a load of little Mexican themed shops. I mean, I remember going there and it was dead, so I'm not surprised they bulldozed it and built something better.
That's just insane. I couldn't imagine that after seeing Icon.
It was crazy. Absolutely. I've not been since Icon Park opened. It's been that long since I've managed to get to Florida, unfortunately.
Well, while it's been opened up, it's got a few rides there, like the normal like slingshot type attractions and that sort of stuff.
And it's got one of those spinning the chair swings, hasn't it, where it goes right the way up the top of a humongous 4-mile tower. Right?
So this is what I want to talk about now. It's not opening up until December, but they are literally adding that type of attraction on top of this 430-foot free fall, right? So you go up actually around, and they've added the Wind Dancer, it's called. So you actually go around the top of this attraction as you're spinning around, and it is a free fall, but you literally genuinely go 430 foot up to the top of this thing, and you can spin, you get it's going to tilt forward, and you get a 30 degrees view of it all, like as it drops down to that much, and then drops 400 foot at 75 mile an hour.
Right. So this is like
Doctor Doom Tower Fall.
Yeah, or the one at Busch Gardens is closer because that tilts.
Oh yeah, because that tilts forward as well, doesn't it? Sorry. But they've stated that when you're actually on top of this thing, you on a clear day you'll be able to see like all of Orlando, Florida. So you'll be able to see all of the Magic Kingdom and Disney. You'll be able to see Universal. You'll be able to see the full shebang where you're actually at the top of this ride, which is just insane. Like, I know when we went to Universal, we were staying at the Enclave just off International Drive.
Yeah, so not far from this.
So when we were actually at Universal, we went on Dr. Doom Tower Fall, and we're like, oh, look, there's the Enclave, as we fell down. But you could actually see it there, but you couldn't obviously see the likes of Disney and stuff, whereas this particular ride, which you'll never get me on, just throwing it out there. Like, I don't know.
The chair swing is already there.
So your chair swings there and is
so
terrifying.
So it's the drop. It is the drop tower.
So yeah,
there's going to be a slingshot, which is one of those where you get pulled back and just on giant bungee ropes and then let go. I think I would go on. I've been on those chair swings, those gigantic chair swings, and was terrified up until the moment I got on it and got up there and I was like, this is fine, I like this. So I think I'd enjoy that. The drop tower. Where
was it we went to where you did
Flamingo Land.
Was that the Flamingo Land one? Yeah.
Flamingo Land, yeah. but there was one in Tivoli Gardens in Copenhagen as well. And it was great just seeing the entire city from the top of that. That was the only draw. I was like, I've got to go on it. I want to see everything.
It's just really good. Like I bungee jump, dying to do parachute jump, so much stuff I want to do. But
something where you're not attached to anything, you're fine with. But
but just two little flimsy chains, on a plastic chair or like a metal chair, doesn't fill me full of confidence going around, especially when the wind can pick up massive like that. And like it did not look safe, the Flamingo Land one. I know it is. I know it is safe because it's been there for years and no incidents. And I know the one in Orlando and stuff is absolutely fine. But like that, like the drop rides, I don't mind as much. They're not my favourite. But going on like Dr. Doom Towerfall, I think because it was in Universal, I really want to do it. But because the rides in America are so much more comfortable than the rides over here in the UK.
Fair enough.
I'm like, that's fine. Yeah. It's just like sitting on your couch, but having a 400-foot drop.
Yeah. So I remember we were at the biggest drop tower we've been on was I say you didn't go on it. This is the point. Was at Port Aventura, and it's Hurricane Condor, which is it's massive. I'd never seen any drop ride of that scale ever before. And I think they updated it last time, so the seats tilted forward as well, if I remember right. But,
yes,
but you wouldn't go on it. Yeah,
no, but explain the reasons why.
Your better half did.
Yeah, the reason I didn't go on it though is because me and one of the guys that we went on holiday with were nailing like what they called yards of like Corona and Heineken. So I went on the majority of the rides, but a rider is just literally like, hey, your stomach's going to be in your throat for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
After like 8 yards of air, I was like, that's probably best not to happen.
Well, your good lady wife was fine and she was drinking just as much as you. Just saying.
Nah, not having it.
No, fine.
But so that one's opening up in December.
Okay.
So if you are in Orlando and you don't want to go to one of the big theme parks, have a look around Icon Park.
Because these are pay per attraction.
They are indeed.
Yeah, so I'm sure there'll be some sort of deal ticket you can get. But if you just want to go on that one ride, then go for it.
Oh, Dan, you and your beautiful segues. Speaking of pay per attractions,
okay,
Disney's Genie Plus actually got let loose this week, I suppose is the best way to put it.
Genie got let out of the mobile phone.
Out of the mobile phone in LAMP. So this is now effectively live in Disney World in Florida, but it's not in any of the other parks as of yet. So it's still not happening around there just yet. It's the test week, so to speak, in Disney World. So this is their new fast pass system, what they call. You might have seen if you've been going to Disney World recently, you might have seen the lightning lanes, which have been opened up.
Yeah, okay, I'd heard about these.
So these are basically just like your fast pass lanes. However, you have to pay for your fast pass now, which is where all the kickoff originally came from, which is old news now because obviously this has been announced for quite a while. But basically, they've removed the free fast pass, which you used your Magic Bands with when you stayed on site or when you booked your holiday. You could do it at a certain time in advance. They've now swapped that over to this Genie Plus.
Okay.
So if you have your Genie app, on the day of your visit at 7 a.m. in the morning, you can, as long as you've got a valid park entry ticket, you can then choose the normal 2 to 3 rides that you can use your lightning lane for.
Right, okay.
However, there are also a few rides that you can do that with, but you have to pay in order to do it. So your normal Genie, your Genie Plus, where you can use for your Fast Pass, is $15, right? And that gets you across all the lightning lanes you've got access to. apart from a set few individual ones.
Right.
So these are the big ticket items for each individual park. So the likes of your Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, you still don't get access to that with your Genie Plus. You have to pay an additional $15 if you want to use the Lightning Lane on that. Okay? So, seems steep. However, as it was announced, like yesterday was their first launch day of it.
Right.
And I was reading all over Twitter as it's coming through, people's opinions that had it and kicking off about the ones that didn't. So Rise of Resistance had a 3.5 hour wait time just in the bog standard standby queue.
Right.
This lady had a 60-second wait.
On the Genie Plus.
On the Genie Plus.
Lane.
She paid $15. She was solo tripping. So this $15 is for one person. If you and your better half went, it'll be $30.
Right. So $15 gets the standard, which is some of the more normal rides.
Yes.
So then what's the upsell? What's the one-off charge to use it on something like Rise of the Resistance?
So that's what I'm saying. So $15 is your normal generic one you get on. Everything is now individually ticketed, so not everything's the same price, which is where it gets a bit weird. Okay. So Rise of Resistance, $15. The Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway one, which is $8. Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, which is just opened as well, $9. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, $10. Avatar Flight of Passage is $11. And Frozen Ever After, $9. Space Mountain, $7. And Exhibition Everest is $7. So those are the ones that you have to pay for.
Okay. So there's not many.
So there's not many, but
it's the best ones in each sort of park, right?
However, if you're literally desperate to go on the likes of Remy's Ratatouille Adventure anyway, the queues aren't massive anymore for that. For the first week of Ratatouille Adventure, it had the biggest queue, even when Rise of the Resistance was open up for standby. Right. The queue time for Remy's Ratatouille Adventure was insane. After the first week, it's dropped, and you now don't even need to fast pass it now.
Okay.
Or before, obviously, Genie Plus came, you could literally just walk straight through on the standby queue, maximum like 25 minutes at a busy time. So while they've gone, we'll charge for that $9 for that as well.
It's a new ride, and they think they need to, and they'll remove it at some point if they find that people aren't buying it. I'm sure that's the beauty of this. They can. Well, I mean, I don't think anything about this has beauty. I hate the pay to ride aspect of it. When I grew up on going to theme parks, that you'd go up to the machine, put your ticket in, and it would spit you out a time ticket, and you'd come back like an hour later and go in your slot, and it was great. Yeah,
don't get me wrong. Like you're also now missing out on part of the buzz. Also, I suppose it helps with the stress. But like when I planned our Disney honeymoon for like months in advance, I was literally had all the park maps up, and I was like, right, get there to this to that, and you're planning everything around it. Whereas this, you have to literally use your Genie Plus 7 a.m. on the first day you visit if you're on site, and if you're not on site, it's literally the first day of your park. So you have to have a park. So if you're in Magic Kingdom, for example's sake, on Monday, you can't purchase a Rise of Resistance one unless you have a park up.
Right.
Yeah, so unless you're in the in that park, you genuinely can't buy it. So that'll help with the queues in that aspect as well. So it's not all going to be crazy in terms of that. And while I get it, I get the people's hatred towards it. I genuinely do. The normal Genie one, which is $15 anyway, it isn't bad for getting the lightning lanes for everything. Like when we go to the likes of Thorpe Park or the Alton Towers, if you know it's going to be a busy day, you'd be like, you know what, sometimes I don't mind just getting a fast pass so I can go on set rides, and you pay £10 to go on.
Well, you're looking
Nemesis
at
or whatnot.
So some of the parks that are sort of are local to us in our country generally will run you without a voucher, because that's something that's very common over here that you tend to not get in a lot of the American theme parks is 2-for-1 vouchers. So it's normally £55, but if you're going with someone else or you find someone in the queue and you use a voucher, you're talking like £25 to go. So paying another £15 then to fast pass on 75% of the rides, it's a big chunk of what you've already paid. But when you're talking, it's what, 150 plus for a day at Disney, right? And I know no one buys day passes, but $15 for a day access to that on top of what you're paying is a drop in the ocean. You know, they might as well have just increased the ticket prices and gone, here, everyone gets it, but then it sort of loses a bit of exclusivity, I guess. But,
That's it.
But I'm sure tour operators will just go, here it is, it's included. Like, whenever you buy a holiday for Florida through someone like Virgin Holidays, they're always like, oh, you get your memory maker for free, and you get your your meal pass and all this sort of stuff. They just wrap it up in the price to make it sound better.
Yeah.
But you ultimately you're paying for it. You're not getting it free. It's just in there. So that I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. And then you just have the option of going. I mean, what you really need is to be able to get up to Rise of the Resistance and go, oh, it's a 3-hour queue. All right, fine. And then buy there on the spot a $15 bypass for the queue.
Yeah, that would be great, but
I know it's not going to work like that.
Yeah, the sheer volume of people inside, because it's that's the one that always sells out. Now they always announce more at I think it's about 1 o'clock or something. They'll be like, hey, there's more available. If people haven't actually had a chance to get it yet. But every single day since it's happened, it's sold out. So that's the only one where we're not doing any more because people that aren't paying for it still need to get on it, which is nice. The fact they're not oh, sod it, we'll just keep going with that one. But it's just that some of the attractions are the ones that I'm just like, why add that into it? Now, I know when we were there last, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is still, because I'm one of those people that can't resist a daily look at the wait times in Orlando parks. The queue times for Seven Dwarfs Mine Trains is still 2 to 3 hours on a daily basis, and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is the same. That's 90 minutes to 120 minutes. So them I get in Flight of Passage, which is before Rise Resistance opened, the one ride that blew everyone away.
Flight of Passage was always insane.
That's always going to have the same. All the rest of them.
Everest is that old
crazy.
now that it's sort of, at least again because I've not been for a while, but it was always sort of, you could get lucky and it would only be a 20-minute queue, or it might be a busy day and people go, right, that's the one ride I want to go on at, the one decent ride that's at Animal Kingdom before Avatar opened. So
and it was
there will be times that's useful, I guess, but yeah.
I remember we re-rode. We had to come out of the thing, but then go straight back in it again. We didn't have to run round and do the queue again. It was weird because they're hey, would you like to go around again? And we're like,
they used to do that on
okay, get out and
on
then
Dueling Dragons.
Get back in again. I was like,
you could go through the re-ride and go straight back on the other on fire. Or if you went on fire, you could go on ice and vice versa.
But this was literally just a case of for them to go, barrier across, barrier back again. Right, you can sit back in. We literally just stepped to the side. We didn't have to queue. We just stepped to the side while they went, all right, get back in. And I was like, what?
Nice.
But we did that, and it was at night time, and it was phenomenal. But
it feels like they just want to have at least sort of 2 rides in each park. So regardless of whether there are 2 rides that would warrant it, they've included it, So makes sense to me. Like I said, the whole it makes sense from a financial perspective for Disney and everything. I don't like this sort of stuff. I like that before you could reserve your slot on rides a while in advance, right? You know, that was great, but now it's pay extra for these rides. I don't know. It starts to get a bit too much to. But we'll see. We'll see what happens when I go to Disney next.
I suppose it takes away the stress.
Yeah.
A lot more than what, because it was great, but trying to get people still know Flight of Passage and stuff, trying to get a fast pass for that before obviously this came into effect. When I was I need to get on the mountains and do the trilogy, and trying to fast pass them at I think it was 4:30 in the morning when it officially became my time to do. And I remember setting the alarm to right, need to book out restaurants and need to do these things, and waking up at 4:30 to book
and even
rides.
Then you didn't get everything, did you?
No, 6 months in advance, and I'm like, this is insane. It was amazing, but it was just a weird experience. 120 days early, trying to book rides.
In which case you'd go, do you know what, I'm happy to spend $15 to not
exactly.
do it
That's what I mean.
That.
So this time
Fair
round,
enough.
I know there's so many rides that have opened since I've been there last that I'm willing to pay for this.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I'm happy. I'm one of those that'd be willing, the mugs that's willing to do it.
Makes sense, I guess. Like I say, we'll see what happens when I go to Disney next. I'll probably eat my words and go, yeah, I really need to get on Star Wars.
If you don't get the first day, if you don't go on Rise of Resistance, you'll be like, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Because it's still prone to breaking down so much. You can't risk being in that standby queue, getting to the front and going like, oh, it's broke down, and there's all these people that have fast
actually
passes.
Cry.
Yep. It's insane. But the one thing that's weird with this is people with the Genie Plus app at the minute, I've seen quite a bit of kickoff, because obviously it's got a few glitches in it at the moment. Like, it's not working efficiently on older sort of smartphones. So, you know, like the people are saying at the minute with like an iPhone 8 or an iPhone 10 that are having issues with it at the moment, and like the Samsung Galaxy like 20, I think it is, or the one before 20. They're having issues where their passes aren't showing up even though they paid for it. So they've gone to, you know, like guest services, and they're not getting refunded for it. What they're getting is, oh, we'll try again tomorrow. If that doesn't work, we can give you a gift card. So people are booting off because they paid money to obviously can't fast pass, and then can't get the money back. They just get like a gift card the next day if it's still not showing up stuff.
Jeez.
So there's a few things to iron out, but once it does, I think it's a great addition.
Well, I don't entirely disagree, but I do slightly.
Yeah, I mean, adding more money onto stuff is always, like when it used to be free, it's a kick in the teeth.
Yeah.
Especially if they're getting rid. I mean, we're going to do Disney parks at some point, so I won't go too much into it. But you're getting rid of all the perks for staying on site, and this is a huge one of them, really. So, yeah, it's annoying.
Right, that was the moment I've been dreading then, right, Reg?
I don't think you've been dreading this, mate. I think you're going to nail it.
So you brought this up on episode 1, that at some point you're going to be testing my theme park knowledge. Okay. So
what I've decided I'm going to do, right, is I've only got 5 questions, because I know how much we like to talk in the news segment compared to how much time we usually have.
Okay.
So I thought I'd keep it short, but for every answer you get wrong, I'm going to add another question into a show at some point.
Okay, right,
so
right.
I'm hoping this is going to be quite a fun regular feature then. And I'm going to call this segment Do Q Know.
Do Q Know.
Yeah.
Do Q Know. That was the best you could come up with. That was the best pun on Q.
Well, I was going to call it something like Test Track, but then you mentioned it earlier on in the quiz and the.
I prefer Test Track, right?
And I was like,
I prefer Q&A. Q&A.
Q&A is rubbish.
Yeah. Okay.
But Do Q Know.
Okay.
Is a great pun.
I'm happy to keep it as that. That's fine.
Okay. So, I'll try and find a fun theme tune to add into this at some point.
Okay, excellent.
And then I'll send it to you to edit it.
Yes. And everyone play along at home.
Yeah, so everyone get your pens at the ready. I'm going to ask the questions first, and then I'll give you the answers at the end.
Oh, so you're going to ask all 5 questions?
I'm going to ask all 5 questions, just so that people can play along and have a think. Okay. And then I'll do the answers at the end.
Okay.
So, question number 1. What is the world's oldest theme park?
Okay.
Question number 2. Which ride has the most inversions in the world?
You don't have to give a little...
I do, Dan. I'm the host of this quiz. I will tell you what I need to do.
Okay.
Question number 3. How many rides are there in all of Disney World in Florida?
Jeez.
So I'm not classing attractions
like theatre things.
Or the shows.
Yeah.
I mean physical rides. Are there
at Walt Disney World?
At Walt Disney World.
Across all
parks.
Not water parks.
Not water parks, just the 4 parks. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What is the name of the tallest roller coaster in the world?
Okay.
And finally, where was the first Universal Studios opened?
Okay.
And I'll even give you a bonus point if you can give me the year.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
Okay, so the blue pen's down, red pen's up, please, peeps. So, question 1. What was the world's oldest theme park?
What was?
Oh, what is, sorry.
So this is one that is still...
It's still operational at the moment, and you can get tickets for.
Okay. I don't think it's Tivoli Gardens, but that's the oldest one that I know of. So I'm going to say Tivoli Gardens.
It's the second oldest theme park in the world, after Bakken in Denmark.
Oh, I've not even heard of this. So there's two old theme parks in Denmark.
There is indeed.
Wow, okay.
So
Can't believe I didn't go there. How
this
annoying.
one, I won't give it its full thing, but it's a Dryhavensand Bakken, commonly referred to as Bakken. It's in
fortunately.
in Lyngby commune in Denmark. So it's near Klampenberg.
Okay.
So quite
that
near
still doesn't help.
Copenhagen. And it was opened up in 1583. And it's got 6 big roller coasters.
Wow.
There you go. All right. Next up on the old hit list, we had... Which ride has the most inversions in the world?
Now, which ride or which roller coaster? Because rides, it's impossible because you could have a spinny ride that goes upside down as many times as the
roller
controller.
coaster. Then I apologise.
In which case, it's still Smiler. It's still Smiler with 14.
It is still the Smiler with 14, Dan. Yeah. Woo! The crowd went a little bit wild. Okay, so next up, how many rides are there in all of Disney World?
Okay, if anyone at home gets this dead on, then why are you listening to this podcast about theme parks? You know everything there is to know about theme parks already, unless you're just listening to point out mistakes. In which case, don't do that. That's not very nice because no one should know this answer. Now, I'm gonna try and work it out. I'm not gonna count rides, don't worry. But I would say Magic Kingdom, there's probably, let's say 20. Epcot, there's not that many rides. I'm gonna say 12. So we're at 32. MGM/Hollywood Studios, we're probably somewhere in the middle. I'm going to say 16. And then Animal Kingdom, there's not many at all. I'm going to say, let's go 10. So my guess is 58.
You are very close. There's 50 rides in total in Disney. The minute you went, I was like, you're just going to be getting these all right, all one with each other.
So
there's 23 in Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
There's 9 in Epcot.
Right, okay. I see. I went 3 over on that. I went 12, didn't I?
Yeah. Hollywood Studios, you massively overegged it.
Really?
There's 9 actual rides in Hollywood Studios. I know, right?
Wow.
You thought it was a lot more than that. But a lot of them are
there's
like
a lot of shows
stunt shows and obviously like makeup shows and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And there's 9 in Animal Kingdom.
Okay. I mean, that's crazy that there's that many at Animal Kingdom, but I suppose there's a bunch of flat rides and stuff in the dinosaur part, dinosaur section and whatever.
Primeval Worlds now gone the track.
Thank goodness.
I love Primeval World. It was awesome.
All right. I get some credit for that. I won't take a point, don't worry, but I get some credit for being
all right, I thought you meant
good on that.
About Primeval World being
no.
shut down. I take credit on that. I'm like, I shut
Thank
that
me later.
down.
No.
Okay, so there's 2 questions being added to different shows at some point. Okay, so what is the name of the world's tallest roller coaster?
I know this one. I'm pretty sure it's still this ride, but it's King Dakar.
It is King Dakar.
Yeah.
In Six Flags Adventure.
Yes, which looks amazing, but Yeah, it's quite old now, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is indeed. So it's surprising considering like how many rides again have opened up and how they love to have these like world records. Why they don't just keep on going like, hey, because it's now 16 years old. It opened in like 2005 or something.
Wow.
So it's definitely a overdue a new ride, world beating tightness.
It's great. It is crazy that no one else has done that. Absolutely. But we'll see.
Okay. And finally, where was the first Universal Studios opened up?
Okay, I mean this one is easy because it was actually a studios that got turned into a tour, and that's the one in Hollywood. Because the one in Florida was, I mean, it's still a TV studio. It was not, built as a studio and then turned into a theme park. It was opened as a theme park.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's correct. But
now,
can you give me the bonus point?
So
The year it opened.
I don't know. What I do know is that it was a lot. I mean, it was before it was an actual theme park. There was still a tour. Like it was there was a studios tour, like back in the 20s or something like that. So it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for that, it was 1920. If you're looking for when it actually opened as a theme park, I think it had its 50th anniversary like in the last few years. So I'm going to say 68.
Oh, Dan, you're getting close with these. 64.
Oh, 4 years ain't that bad.
It's not. You're still 100% incorrect, though. So,
yeah, great.
if you just want to throw it out that way instead.
Yeah.
There's 3 questions. So,
Fair
but
enough.
Not bad at all.
That was fun.
And let us know in the comments how many questions you got right, guys.
Yeah. Everyone would be like, "Oh, I got the number of Disney World rides spot on," and also you were wrong about all these things.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And if you think they were quite interesting questions, however, I can do better.
Yep.
Hit me up on my email, which is reg@nerdod.com, with your questions, and I'll fire them over at Dan at any point in these podcasts.
Sounds good.
I'm up for that. And as always, feel free to like, comment, share the love on all our social sites.
Yes. Yeah, NerdOD on everything apart from Instagram, where we're nerd_OD.
And don't forget to keep on track on the YouTube page, which is going to have all the latest theme park videos, and go back through our library. Watch us go through Flamingo Land and score each individual ride of single reg. It's glorious.
Yeah. We do like rating things out of regs.
It's always fun.
Right.
But for this week, I've been Reg.
I've been Dan.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Toodles.